Hi, I'm Brent Michael Phillips, and I'm here with video 3 in our series, The Truth About Truth. My goal is to lead you past the common pitfalls and limitations that keep us in a smaller, lower dimensional sphere of truth, to help you break out of that, to get past your limitations, your prejudices of both biology and consciousness, so you can connect to a greater, more powerful, profound truth. What I want to do here today is expand a lot more on something I've mentioned a little bit in the first two videos, and that's the importance of models. And that may seem a little silly. Are you talking model airplanes, Brent? No, I'm talking about the way we relate to reality. That how powerful you are, how functional you are, how successful you are in the world is largely dependent on the models in your head for how you model the reality that's out there. We talked in the first couple of videos a lot about how everything is a model. Our human biology and consciousness cannot directly connect to the pure, profound, highest truth. And it's nothing personal. It's like trying to fit a monster truck into your two-car garage. There's nothing wrong with the garage, there's nothing wrong with the truck. It's just too big, it doesn't fit. And if you try to force it, you're either going to damage your garage or damage the truck or both. So trying to fit the pure, absolute, pure truth of God and life and the universe into your human brain doesn't fit. I wouldn't recommend trying. You could damage yourself. And some people do it with drugs or over meditation. I could tell some crazy stories. My late mentor, actually, he didn't mean to, facilitated one of his clients and students going crazy because he pushed him too hard, too fast. He tried to shove too much truth into his brain when he wasn't ready for it. Now, this happened a long time ago when he was very young, and the guy recovered. And I learned from that, and I've never had that happen with one of my students. But this just emphasizes the point. Take it slow. We want to understand what truth is and slowly, gently fit more inside your brain to get you past those limitations, those obstacles. So the models you have in your head are tremendously important for how powerful and successful and functional you are in the world. Long story short, it determines how much money you make. It really does. One of the crazy things, I'll tell you, a lot of people think this is just nuts, but it is true, that I was at MIT for 6.5 years for my bachelor's, my master's, my PhD. And I studied computer science. Graduate school, I was in Area 2, which is software. And there was not 1 minute of any class I took in all those years that they spent teaching me a programming language. They never taught us C, they never taught us assembler, they never taught us Python or Perl, none of it. Why is that? What they used to say was, well, you need to learn a language, you can do that in a weekend with a good book. A good reference book, that is. That the purpose of the MIT education was to train you how to think and put models into your head for how things operate. So you understand computer systems, from the level of transistors up to operating systems and application software, to put models in your head that then, for any given problem, you just go find the right tool and learn it and plug it in. This is so critical. I want to give you new models for truth about life and the universe and God and consciousness, because that will make you so much more powerful in healing and manifesting and creating a better life for yourself in the world. And so it's funny that certainly more when I was younger than nowadays, but people would ask me all the time to help them with their computers or their phones. And almost always it was something I knew nothing about. So someone would call me and say, hey Brent, I got this new iPhone, I can't get it connected to the internet, can you help? And I would laugh and I go, well, maybe, but you do understand that iPhones didn't exist when I left MIT, and I've never owned one or used one. I know nothing about it. But it doesn't mean I can't help. Even though I have no specific knowledge or experience, the reason I could probably get it working faster than other people is simply I had models in my head. I have a sense of how it worked. And so I would simply slot in the specific information, technology, language, whatever, into the model and get the solution very quickly. A good example would be, imagine you pulled a caveman through a time machine and you handed him your new iPhone and said, take my picture. He would have no idea what you're talking about, right? First, he'd probably wouldn't speak your language, but if we ignore that, right? If we pretend we're a 20th century TV show where everybody speaks English, we assume the caveman can understand you, he wouldn't know what a picture is. They don't have pictures in caveman times, right? You could go, well, it's like a reflection on a pond, but it's on a phone. And go, okay, I know what a pond is, but what the heck is a phone? So the caveman could be really smart. And by the way, primitive people were not stupid. They were actually a lot smarter than modern people. Why? In the ancient world, in the primitive world, if you were stupid or foolish, you died. It was that simple, natural selection. So in general, they were smarter than us. So it's not that the caveman was stupid. It's he doesn't have models in his head for phones and photographs and technology. But if I handed you a phone you'd never used before, and I've had this happen, right? You know, you're on vacation at a game or whatever, someone says, can you take my picture? And you know what to look for. You look for a camera icon or a red button. That's what I mean by models. And I want to give you models in your head for truth, for energy healing, for consciousness, because that will make you so much more powerful. It will make it much easier for you to solve your problems, to make more money, to heal your body, to have a better life. That's the purpose of all this. So just notice that everything is models. Only models fit inside our head. And if you can develop better models that fit in your head, you will be way ahead of the game. At the same time, I want you to know and accept that the goal is not perfection with our models. It's simply to asymptotically approach the truth. What does that mean? It's a fancy word, but the meaning is actually pretty simple. Let's say that you're 100 feet away from a wall, and every minute you close half the remaining distance between you and the wall. So at 0 minutes, you're 100 feet away. At 1 minute, you're 50 feet away. At 2 minutes, you're 25 feet away. At 3 minutes, you're 12.5 feet away. How many minutes will it take you to get to the wall? The answer is infinite. Why? You'll never actually get there. Why? No matter how close you get, all you can do is close half the remaining distance. You can never actually get to the wall. But you can get really, really close. And that's our relationship with the truth as humans. The truth doesn't fit in our brains, but we can asymptotically approach the truth by putting new models into our head. And by refining and tweaking and optimizing those models, we get closer and closer and closer. So I hope that makes sense. Don't worry about the absolute truth. It may hurt you. It might drive you crazy. Not a great idea. Improve your model, get closer and closer and closer. So what are the big limiters on our models that limit our ability to get close to the truth? Well, part of it is biology. And that, for the most part, we're stuck with. I'm not saying we can't change it at all. I'm just saying we can only change it within limits. And later in the series, I'm going to talk about what we can do within some limits to improve that. But the biggest thing isn't just our biology, it's our consciousness. It's our subconscious. It's these belief systems, traumas, mythology, stories we carry inside of us. You might call that your own personal mythology. It's your map for life. It's all the models you run. The way I see life is pretty simple. It's like a computer. Your body is the hardware. The software is your subconscious. These internal stories, belief systems, traumas, prejudices, expectations, judgments, likes and dislikes. That we can do a lot with. Just like you take your computer, it's hard to change the hardware, right? Unless you know how to build electronics in your garage, you have to buy hardware from someone, right? But if you're a programmer, it's easy to change the software. Even if you're not, you can download stuff from the internet, right? Our lives are the same. The hardware, difficult to shift. Within some limits, we can do it. But there's enormous room for improvement and growth within our software. And that's what I want you to hear. That by improving our software, we can asymptotically approach the truth. We can download new models that make us more powerful, that allow us to heal faster, to make more money, to be more functional, to solve problems. And I know you don't want to miss out. We got a couple more cool videos coming in the series. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe. And to thank you for that effort, here's a super cute picture of an animal. Awesome. And in the later series, I'm going to talk more about how we change the software, as well as science and the scientific method, and how that relates to spiritual truth and intuition and consciousness. So if you would like to learn more about me and my work, make sure you check out my spiritual power quiz right there on the screen for you. I'm going to help you discover your own spiritual power. I'm also going to send you an invitation to one of my live events because I would love for you to experience some of this advanced work for yourself, to do the quantum field entrainment, to check and clear subconscious blocks, to experience instant healing. Really cool stuff. This is Brent Michael Phillips signing off for now. And until next time, take care and namaste.